All right, we're back for another Walking Dead retro review. We've taken a few weeks off, but we are back and ready to jump into season 2. I've got Jessi and Matt with me. Say hello, folks.
Hello, folks.
Oh, one of you owes the other one a Coke. Oh, it's a sad day. I don't know if you guys saw, but as we're sitting here getting ready to talk about season 2, episode 1, The Walking Dead just filmed its last, like they're done filming forever. Yesterday was the last day of filming on the set of The Walking Dead. Yep, very bittersweet. Very sad.
Good news. On the schedule we're going now for retro reviews, like, well, this will go at least until 2045.
Yeah, so we're good.
Hey, I don't know. Once we get to going, we roll. I mean, we rolled right on through season 1. It's just the last 2 weeks or so it's been a little hard.
But trials and tribulations. Your boy hawked a unit at me.
Yes, I did. I sold Matt a heat pump. I sell heat pump and heat pump accessories.
Dang.
Oh, and he did that too.
Must be nice to have money.
But anyways, getting into the season 2 premiere, Jessi, of course, your opinion is the most important because you've never seen it up to this point. We're just looking back and reminiscing. What did you think of the premiere?
I thought it was kind of slow and a little disappointing at how slow it was. And then when we got to the end, I was in utter shock.
But you guys are such teases.
I know, right? Like Carl dies off this early.
Yeah,
you didn't see that coming, did you?
I just don't even know what to say anymore.
Shot
and
dead.
Then the show ends.
And then that's it. Do you think Carl's dead?
I think he's dead.
No.
You don't think he's dead? Number one, I don't think I would let my child get that close to a wild deer. Because deer will royally mess you up.
The same thing.
They will.
Yeah, I was.
They're not like a moose stomping, but they'll do that little.
Well, also like the fact that the deer let him get that close, like there was something wrong, anyways, with that picture.
Right. Either A, this was someone's pet before the apocalypse, or B, that deer has got some kind of disease that makes it not scared of people and very dangerous.
He got around cat pee when he was a baby.
So you thought the episode was slow? I thought episode 2 was really that season. I thought the premiere of 2 was really good. You get that giant first time you see a horde like that massive coming down the highway, and then Andrea gets stuck in the bathroom. Was that not tense for you at all? Did you think she was gonna die? I love that she killed Amy so effortlessly when Amy became a zombie, but then now this one's like, ah!
Well, at that point, that was intense, but I was like, okay, so who's gonna die? Andrea or T-Dog? Like, one of them is gonna die this episode, because I thought T-Dog was gonna bleed to death.
Yeah, that was rough too. Like he's spilling a lot of blood on the road.
That would suck though. Like you
don't lacerate an artery and then just Yeah,
you survived like this long in the zombie apocalypse, and a freaking piece of like scrap metal hanging off of a car is what gets you.
Ah, hell.
Oh, shucks. All this for nothing.
It's the tetanus and the hypovolemic shock that got me.
I thought the walkers coming down the road was pretty intense when they were hiding under the cars.
Yeah,
I'd be a little bit unnerved on that one.
I was confused about why they got under the cars, though. I feel like that wasn't a very smart move, but
zombies don't have driver's licenses,
so you don't have to worry about any of the vehicles driving off with you under it.
Well, yeah, but if you're under the car and they hear you or whatever they do, sense you, then it's over, man.
Then take me into the mind of Jessi. Where would you have went?
My first thought was that they should have gone to the RV, but I don't know how close they were to the RV, but I feel like that could have been an option.
Like just get in the RV and be quiet?
And lock the door.
Yeah. Andrea in that scene was, and then of course she's sitting there. It's like the zombies in there. It's starting to get quiet. You think, you have to realize from her point of view that like the zombie is losing interest, and then she has to go screw him with the gun that she does not know how to put back together, drop it, and let the zombie know where she is.
Right?
This is why
she
we
would,
hate
though.
Andrea. She does stupid stuff like this all the time.
Yeah, just like it's disappointing. Like just how many little.
It's like when you
F-ups.
start to think you might like Andrea, she goes and does
And she
something that
does,
makes
yeah.
it not that way.
I don't think I've started to think that at all yet.
Oh, well, it might be too late.
Yeah. At this point, yeah.
How do you feel about Rick? Do you feel like Rick is to blame for Sophia going missing?
No.
Right, like there's like in the show they have, or you'll see it's kind of like insinuated like it's Rick's fault, and it's like he was the only one that got off his ass and went and tried to save her.
Right. And if she had just listened to him, like his plan was foolproof, and if she had listened, she would have been okay.
Yeah, and now she's a missing child, and you can't. Rick is the police. Rick and Shane. You can't exactly call and put out an Amber Alert.
Well, I don't know how that little girl even had the wherewithal to get up in the first place. I would have been scared stiff.
I think you'd be braver than you think in a zombie apocalypse. Just remember back to your paintball days, and you'd be a badass in the apocalypse.
Yeah, you're right.
Just remember, I am more than willing to sacrifice myself in this circumstance.
Matt, as soon as the horde comes, Matt's like, "This is what we've been planning for. Shoot me in the." If you've never listened to any of our other retro podcasts, Matt has made it known that at the beginning of the apocalypse, his one request is to be shot in the face. Right.
Daddy Lloyd can unload on me.
Daddy Lloyd. Gross.
But one little known fact about Jessi is back in the day, she was a badass at paintball.
I was.
Like, used to do tournaments and stuff.
I was the number one female in the United States.
No, you were not. Really? In the whole United States?
The number one female, yeah.
You sure it wasn't like our county?
No. The United States of America.
That's awesome. Now, I did know at one point you were like number one female in the state, but I didn't realize you'd got number one ranked female in the country. That's awesome.
Yeah, I know.
So you talking about you'd be a beast in the zombie apocalypse. Just do what you did, only with a real gun.
Yeah, not paintballs.
No, she can only use paint-powered weapons.
It'll just startle them for a second, but that's not gonna do.
Did you have the double trigger? Well, you did like this?
Yeah.
With like you basically making a machine gun with your two fingers.
Yeah, it was fun.
I feel it looks dirty when Matt does it. Like I'm sitting here doing a paintball, and Matt's over here like, oh. So Jessi,
another reason why I would be a good lesbian.
You'd be. Hey girl, I was really good at paintball. Oh God!
Double trigger.
Bringing fingers over here. But no, so I think that I thought this episode was good. Now, season 2 is my favorite, but I will say I'm worried because if you thought the premiere was slow and disappointing, the whole season is pretty much at this pace. But there's just a lot of character development in this season.
Well, I think the development makes up for it as season 2 progresses.
Yeah, I would agree. Well, I don't know, but if that is the case, I would agree with y'all. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a fast pace for it to be good. I'm not saying it was disappointing. I just thought it was a little slow.
Yeah, I guess.
As long as it ends with someone getting shot.
The last time you had saw them, they were escaping from an exploding building. So I'm sure going to sitting on the side of the road.
They took it down a notch.
What do you think about Shane and Lori's conversation where he's like, I'm getting my new bride fixed up and I'm out of here?
Dude, okay, y'all know I don't like Shane. I don't like Shane. But the group needs him.
He grows on you. Yeah, you'll like him.
Oh no, I will not.
You'll
I'll
learn
never
to like him.
After that, Matt, when we did the finale, as soon as I was rewatching episode 1 and I saw that like rapey scene with him and Lori, I had the realization in that moment. I was like, Jesse's never gonna like Shane.
Never.
He could go back in time and kill Hitler and save everyone, and Jesse would be like, he's still an absolute piece of shit.
But the group needs him.
I mean,
do agree
you
with
do
that.
need that muscle. I mean, like Shane's a beast.
Yeah. So, and I just feel like that's super selfish for him to want to leave the whole entire group and put them at risk just because he's a little crybaby about not being able to be with his best friend's wife.
Well, see, and that's why I like the character of Shane so much, though, because I agree with you 100%, but I also see it from his perspective. I mean, have you ever I mean, we've all been the bad guy to somebody in our life. I mean, not to the extent of Shane, obviously, but in somebody else's story, we've all been the bad guy at some point. And it's like, imagine having to be around a bunch of people that like you just felt did not want you around, like you just didn't belong at all. So like, while I do agree it'd be selfish of him to leave, I totally understand why he would want to leave and get away from that situation. Because that has got to be super awkward. You don't feel like you have anybody. I mean, like, what's he going to get with Carol?
I mean, it's not about who you're going to... Wait, so...
I mean, it's not all about who you're going to get with, but I'm just saying, like, he doesn't even have...
It would be for me.
Well, and it's
that's why he wants to get shot first thing.
I'm a zombie.
Well, and he doesn't really even have any friends now either. I mean, everybody used to look up to him, and now that Rick's there, everybody looks up to
alpha,
Rick.
Yeah.
And now
Rick
Shane's
with
second
his
fiddle.
Beautiful eyes.
I love rock.
You don't find Rick attractive. You don't get to talk about his beautiful eyes.
He does have beautiful eyes.
Are you starting to get attracted to Rick?
Yeah.
No.
You hesitated. No, you waited way too long.
No. Okay, I'm coming around. I'm definitely not there yet.
I think as you see him develop, it's not so much all looks. It's more of just like the alpha male that radiates off of him.
He's just like a bamf.
Yep, he is a bamf, and you get to see him really start to grow into that this season. Like starting to change. Rick really does. Rick and Glenn have some of the best character development as far as like realistic progression. It's not like one single event happens and it's like, I was sheriff friendly, now I'm sheriff badass. You know, it's like it takes a while for them to turn into who they ultimately become.
Yeah. So
it's interesting. What did you think of so you got to see? No, you didn't. Never mind. You hadn't seen that yet.
Oh, no spoilers.
I know. So did you? Was the church in this episode?
Yeah.
So it was the church where Rick has this heart-to-heart with semi-zombie looking Jesus on the cross.
Yeah.
He's like, I just need you to give me a sign. And then he does not.
Well, I had that church scene had me hoping for the best, like for real. And then when I found out that it was just like what are those things called?
Talking about one of the recordings of the church bells?
Yeah, and it was just on like a speaker. Oh man, my whole world just fell apart.
It's like, I get that, like, it's like, oh, she might be ringing the church bell to let it. That's very smart if that was actually her, but that's also really stupid because loud noises attract zombies. It's like,
yeah,
I'm guessing, I hope that my people get here before the zombies.
Well, it wasn't her, so.
Right, yeah. No, it certainly wasn't. And I like I said, and so we got T-Dog. So I know that we have, all right, so who all's out looking for Sophia? It's Shane,
Daryl,
Rick.
We got Daryl. When they cut up the zombie.
Oh, yes. What about that scene where they cut up the zombie? How did you feel about that one?
I thought that was really smart. But at the same time, it's like, dang, Daryl really just takes out his aggression on like anything and everything. And
it almost is like he's dissected a human before.
Oh, well, I'm sure maybe he has. I bet Merle has.
I mean, I know he's dissected plenty of animals, but man, he just really went right into the human dissection with no reservation there.
I mean, that was pretty smart. But while he was doing it, I was like, how would they even know if it was her?
That was my next thing I was going to say is, do you think there's a way that, I mean, maybe some hair or like a finger or something?
Clothes, but they wouldn't be eating the clothes. I don't know. I really have no clue. I don't know because do zombies have stomach acid? Does it break down the things that they eat? Do they really chew the stuff or do they just swallow it whole? Like, I don't know.
I would imagine they don't digest any of it because they're technically, I think in this universe, and listeners, please correct me if I'm wrong, but like they're dead. They have nothing but, And that's why they say that these are some of the most unrealistic zombies, because if nothing in the body's functioning, Matt, I'm sure, can attest, being in the medical
I was going
field.
to say, like, that's one thing I've wondered. Like, we know they can hear, we know they can see, we know they have at least maybe some sense of taste if they're like so driven to eat flesh.
Well, they can smell.
You're right. And it's like, so clearly there's brain function, but like everything but the central like part of your brain that controls the instinct and motor function is supposed to be like gone. But like you need blood flow in order to get the movement and it's
you got your motor and sensory cortex of the brains too.
But I don't think which is gross, because right, so if they do digest the food, then that means they just walk around pooping in their pants. So like when you got all those zombies on you, you also got the duties getting real close.
You see a horror zombie just grunting and farting.
Or like explosive diarrhea as they're taking you down. No,
and it doesn't get digested, so it's just like guts and skin like just coming out of their butt.
Imagine that'd be like a zombie attack.
From a physiologic standpoint, there's a lot of like a lot of things that just
watch out, Daryl, it's a butt bomber. What? Oh God, am I gonna die? No, but you smell really bad.
You smell like zombie doo doo.
You smell like duties, Daryl. Ha ha, duty, Daryl.
What?
Then every character from then forward, we'll call him Duty Daryl.
You got that zombooty duty on you.
Zombooty duty. Oh man, we should come up with like merch and have a candle called Zombooty Duty.
Zombooty Duty.
Smells like straight up zombie ass.
I was gonna say it smells like something really good, like roses. Like man, zombie shit smell good.
What if it actually is like very pleasant? Like, do we know what zombie dookie smells like?
Are you digging in your butt for some zongie?
Zongie?
What y'all do?
No, my back is itchy. I got to scratch.
That was your butt.
I don't know about your butt.
I don't know about Jessi, but you know, my butt is down here. Back is like right here. When you have to like flex your shoulder. Nah, it's okay. No, zombie dookie. I don't know. Let us know in the comments, listeners. I'm really curious. I mean, do these zombies like digest? I mean, dead people poop. So, I mean, I'm sure that when they got bit and they died and came back, at some point there was duties in them draws. But I just mean, like, do they duty?
That's true.
Do they duty as they are doing zombie things?
I'm gonna do a quick type on YouTube here, see if they have like a zombie physiology video.
Need to do of the Walking Dead's. Theirs is a little different because you got like 28 days later. It's like basically an advanced form of rabies or something to that effect. So like they can starve to death and they still do have bodily function.
First search: why zombies can't happen?
Because they can't poop.
Now, the second scientists are like, we figured out how to help a dead body poop. It's like, no, that's how you make zombies. But while Matt's looking up and destroying our dreams of a zombie apocalypse, Jessi, which I don't want a zombie apocalypse, to be honest with you. That means I used to tell.
No, I don't.
We used to talk about it, and people be like, "Man, but it'd be so cool." And I'm like, you realize, in order for a zombie apocalypse to happen, like almost everyone you love and know is going to die. Like that's your parents, your children.
Like, no.
Because people...
It's just romanticizing some crazy, like they'll be like the hero or something.
Exactly.
Well, have they ever had a zombie dream?
Yeah, and in your dreams, you realize how truly helpless you are against zombies. Yeah. Now, I do think people do romanticize and think, like, I'd be such a badass in the apocalypse. And it's like, dude...
I would. If Coach would just put me in, I would have been a badass.
And it's like they very well might be, but it's a lot that comes with an apocalypse.
Yeah, no, thank you.
I just realized that you're podcasting from the bathroom.
It's the only the literal only place I can be away from everybody else.
And like now it is even more conflicting when you were like grabbing up on the counter. It's like, were you bracing for a big Duke? Like,
Zombooty doody.
No, because I'm on the floor and that would be messy.
Zombooty duty. I want that on a shirt. Zombooty duty.
Zombooty duty.
But no, getting back to the episode, I mean, I'm trying to think of all, because, so I haven't gotten to, I'll say that you'll meet some new characters here soon, which is pretty exciting.
That is exciting, because we're losing characters, so we need more.
Yeah, Sophia's done RUNNOFT. What did you think about like Shane kind of snapping on Carl? I kind of feel bad because, Lori's like, don't you talk to my boy. And then like Shane legit tries to not talk to her boy and then, gets a little snappy with him. And she's like, don't you dare put this on him. I'm like, Lori, I don't know what you want me to do, man. Like, I don't talk to your boy because you say don't talk to him. And now I'm the bad guy.
I forgot that she told him that not to talk to him. And this whole time I'm like, why is he being so mean?
There's so many
sense.
There's so many points where like you want to shake Lori and pull like the Ryan Gosling from that Love movie or whatever with the, what is that? Where he's like, what do you want? It ain't that simple. Yeah, The Notebook. That's it. It ain't that simple. What do you want?
I've never watched that, so I wouldn't know.
I was forced to watch it multiple times.
Oh.
Back in the day. I mean, you're not responsible, but your squad is, so, I had to watch that movie many times.
What are you talking about, squad?
Your peeps.
Your folks.
Well, I don't know, dude. It's not for me.
No.
But anyways...
But no, so you got, and what's cool is I love if you really pay attention to the product placement in this show. So, Shane's like, I'm just getting my new ride ready. It's a brand new Hyundai Tucson. And then like, I kid you not, that vehicle will be in this show for like the next 3 seasons.
Jeez.
And then it's like, if you pay attention when Carl finds all the knives and stuff, and he's like, it's an arsenal. It's like a huge Gerber knife ad. Like it's like the big Gerber logo. It's interesting in shows like this to watch for the product placement.
I hadn't even noticed that.
Because you'll notice,
start paying attention.
In shows, a lot of times you really don't see a lot of name brands, and it's usually because unless they're paying to be in the show, they're not going to give them free advertising. But when you see like a big obvious logo or like a vehicle being used over and over again, it's straight up product placement. And it's like if you pay attention to that Hyundai Tucson, you're going to notice the next time it starts getting really featured prominently, it starts to get really, really clean for the apocalypse. And it's,
priorities.
I know Shane said he was getting his new ride ready, but I didn't know he was going to wax and shine that thing too. Look, Lori, you left me, so I got to find other women.
My car's my woman now.
I got my new ride to pick up fly honeys.
My Tucson.
You won't let me treat you right. I'm going to treat my car right.
Which I certainly feel like Shane, everybody, I guess, has a vehicle type. And it's like Shane definitely looks like someone who would drive like the Jeep Wrangler or something like that. A Hyundai Tucson is not what I see Shane driving.
Well, that's what who paid him to drive it. That didn't make any sense.
I'm pretty sure at one point they were doing Hyundai Tucson giveaways with the show, like back when it was airing like just imagine like my point of view. So like Matt and I have seen the whole show up to this point. Jessi has only seen up to season 2, episode 1, but Matt started watching it about 2 years ago. Now imagine me like from episode 1, Halloween of 2010, watching every single episode live as it airs on TV all the way up. And then to be told that they just wrapped the final episode.
That's just crazy. That blows my mind.
I mean, it really is. When you've been following something that much for, 11 years, it's really like a friend dying or something. It's sad.
Aww.
I know.
Well, is there a reason why they're not doing it anymore?
I mean, to be honest, as much as I love the show, storytelling's gotten a little stale. Which I will say, the last few episodes have been really good.
No, the last antagonist we encountered was by far my favorite of the entire series.
He's being facetious. It was by far the worst villain of the entire show.
To me, it was so bad it was good. Like,
right. It's kind of like getting a pug for a dog. Like, they're so ugly, they're kind of cute.
Hey, don't you dare.
I mean, I like pugs, but I'm just saying, they look
And
like...
they like you too.
It just looks like somebody threw it face first into a wall.
Have you seen like a pug's like actual skull?
Oh, yeah, it's freaky looking.
Now that is creepy.
What?
They say they have trouble breathing because of the way their face is smashed up.
Like they have no nose.
I am Googling this.
That's why they overheat.
Pug skull.
What the hell are you watching, Jesse? Look, Jesse, are you on a podcast and watching other videos of yourself while you're on the podcast?
I was watching my TikToks on this episode before we started podcasting just so that I would make sure that I remembered everything. That was important to me. But now I'm looking up pug skulls.
Yeah, they virtually have no nose. They can't breathe.
There is no reason in the world why this should exist.
It's almost as freaky as looking up like an infant skull because like they have teeth up in the top of their mouth.
That is crazy.
Like every time
that don't look right.
I see my 2-year-old and I'm like, I see that.
You got teeth in your
you've got teeth up in your sinuses.
You are all teeth.
But I'm trying to think. So we got T-Dog bleeding out. Did you like how Daryl, the original racist, like went out of his way to save T-Dog?
I am cured of my racism.
What did he do? I can't remember.
He grabbed the bolt, the crossbow bolt, when T-Dog was hurt and that zombie was getting up on him. And Daryl comes up and stabs it in the back of the head. Then he rolls him over and they put the dead zombies on them. So
that's right. That is right. That was really, really smart.
Oh, yeah.
That was so smart. But how gross, man.
I was
the things you have to go through to just live.
Like Matt said, right? Daryl's like, I was racist, but through the power of love, I am healed.
Through the power of friendship.
The power of zombooty duty.
Did you feel relief when Andrea finally bust out of the bathroom like a phoenix bursting into flames and stuck the screwdriver into the zombie's face and then sat down on the ground and cried? She cries a lot.
She's a little...
Welcome to my life.
There is a scene that's going to happen. It should be the next episode where, let's just say, Andrea's in a little bit of peril. And when that part happens, you're going to know what I'm talking about. Like, just kind of really pay attention to her face. It's kind of funny.
How can I not? She has, like, the dumbest face. I'm sorry. She's probably a good person.
I don't mind Lori Holden. I just don't like Andrea. What the hell is going on?
Well, I think it's because she has lip filler and it makes her mouth just so weird that I can't stand it.
So let this be a lesson to all of you people out there. Don't get lip filler if you look like Andrea.
If you look like Andrea.
Is Lori
like Daryl? Love people for their differences.
Matt? What did you? So up to this point in the show for both of you. Now, Matt, remember, assuming let's just say you've not seen past this episode, so we don't spoil anything here. But what?
I have no recollection
up to this point. What do you think of Lori? Because she's a very hated character in this show.
Yeah, I was not invested in her.
Jesse?
I go back and forth on her a lot. She gets on my nerves a lot, but then at times I understand where she's coming from. But I don't know. Maybe I'm a little indifferent.
There's nothing wrong with that.
She named her son Carl. Who names her kid Carl?
How do you feel about Carl up to this point?
I feel like Carl's a little badass, and they don't give him enough credit. I mean, really.
Maybe. until, he got shot. How do we know the deer didn't shoot him up to this point? I mean, the deer failed,
right.
but how do we know the deer didn't
Runs don't
commit
kill
some
people.
kind of
It's the deer that kills people.
Deer kill people, duh.
I mean, I've seen deer certainly explode bullets out of them before. It's like kamikaze attack.
No.
This child is getting too close. Initiate self-destruct mode. Pow.
Well, did the deer get shot too?
Yeah.
So here's my thing.
What if that deer had an STD and that bullet went through, got on the deer's blood, and now went into Carl? Now Carl's got like deer herpes.
I guess that's possible.
I mean, but so does that mean that Carl is alive and he didn't die?
I can't tell you that.
Oh, he's
You
dead.
just
He's
gave it
straight up
away.
dead.
What
Yeah,
I said? I
he's
said.
lying.
I said if the bullet went through the deer and went into Carl, would it give Carl deer herpes? I'm just speaking metaphorically here. Like if a bullet
Metaphorically,
went
okay.
through a deer with an STD and into a
Carried the blood.
body into the blood, would it give you?
I
Includes the
think,
deer.
I really think that if you're getting shot, STDs are probably the least of your worries.
I don't know. What's the worst case of clap you've ever had?
The worst
My
case
balls
of
hurt,
what?
yeah.
The clap.
None.
The gonorrhea. Gonorrhea.
Doc, it hurts when I pee and it hurts when I touch this gaping exit wound.
Yeah. I'm losing a lot of blood, and the blood might have herpes, but it's okay.
Like as they're dying, they're like, no,
Like, I
dear
can write the
gonorrhea.
prescription for the antibiotic, but as for the gaping bullet hole, I don't know about that one, buddy.
That's not my range of expertise.
Yes,
I
I just
can-
treat basic diseases.
I can deal with the herpes. It's the gaping bullet wound that I just don't think I can deal with.
we
But no, so Jessi, so up to this point, I ask you this pretty much every episode, and I won't be asking it as much every episode now because you're about to get into 16 episode seasons versus 6. But so up to this
Buckle
point,
up.
favorite character roster still, who do you love?
Well, I think Rick is definitely up there now.
Uh-huh.
I'm
And if
starting
you're
to
just
like-
joining this podcast, go back and listen to episode 1 where Jessi said she thought Rick was stupid.
Rick's a bitch.
and I kind of like I'm starting to like Daryl more. Glenn just hasn't really had a big role like recently. So I mean, I still like him, but
I remember from that point in time, I felt the same way. Like, I haven't seen much action out of Glenn,
yeah.
I think
but
the
better
good
things are coming.
I think the good thing about season 2 is they're able to give each character as the season progresses their own
little more
growth moments.
focus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you'll have certain moments with Glenn where you spend more time with him and kind of get to know him better, and the same thing with Rick and
Go on
other
a date.
characters.
Going on a
Heck
date with
yeah,
Glenn.
that's what I was thinking. What does he look like now?
Suave. Stephen Yin's he's older than me, but he's a suave young man.
Yeah.
Is he older?
Yeah, I think he's a little bit older than I am. He's
Let's go
probably
older,
like
maybe.
I know
What is
Maggie.
his-
I know Maggie's older than. Well, you hadn't got to Maggie yet. Never mind.
What is Glenn's real name?
Stephen Yin.
All right, let's see what he looks like. Is he on something else?
He's done a lot of voice work, and yeah, he's been in something else. He was actually in an episode of The Big Bang Theory. I'm trying to think of his
Justin's
Hmm.
favorite show.
Yeah, it's my.
Is
favorite.
it?
No,
That's your
No.
favorite show?
No.
Oh.
I don't hate it the way that everybody else does. It gets to be like
Uh.
number 1 on TV. Then all of a sudden, everyone who loved it's like, oh, I hate that show.
I think it would be phenomenally better if they just removed the laugh tracks completely and just aired it as is.
I will give man, Nickelback and The Big Bang Theory are the same way, man. Half these people that like used to love it can deny it all they want. Used to love it, and then they get real popular, and all of a sudden, some critic is like, I think they're overrated, and then people who don't think for themselves are like, yeah, they suck. They're overrated. I hate them. And I feel like,
I
I'm
agree,
not saying
Justin.
The Big Bang Theory hasn't had some stupid moments, but I mean, like, it's not as bad as people make it out to be. Certainly not the best out there, but
It's not as bad
I
as
will-
Nickelback.
Jessi, you were
I
a
will
huge
agree with
Nickelback
Justin.
fan in high school.
No, I was not.
Yes, you
I
were. You
literally
used to
never-
come to school with Nickelback T-shirts.
Never. You're in a different timeline, sir.
I've peered into the
never.
multiverse, and what I have
can't
seen is
stand that
ugly.
dude's voice.
Look at
I
this
will agree with
graph.
I was just about to say that.
But the look at this graph meme is one of the greatest things to come out of the internet. Look at this
really is.
graph.
It makes me laugh every time. It's
That's what the
so
song
funny.
says too. Every time I do, it makes me laugh. Look, you
would
do
know.
love Nickelback. Here you are finishing their song lyrics.
Yeah.
It was unintentional.
Just like your love for them.
It's in my subconscious.
Don't let Jessie fool you. She used to come to school with Nickelback
literally-
everything.
I could see that. I could see that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm upset about this conversation because that's not true.
No, Jessie did not. Jessie and I had a love for, I guess, what would have back then been. Hipsters weren't a thing back then, but we liked more hipster music in terms of.
Yeah.
The emo.
Well,
Emo was my
I did
jam.
like some emo. I mean, I also really have always been a metal fan, so I didn't mind the punk variation, which would have been like emo and screamo and stuff. But anyway, so let's rate this episode and see what y'all think. Hands under the table. Matt, don't put them back up your butt, though.
Ew.
Well, if I can't put my hand in my butt, why am I here? All right. Yeah, you remember we're going 5, and you can do up to 0 to 5, and you can do halves by putting your thumb out. Loser. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Rate the episode. All right, Jessie, what's that? 3?
Yeah.
You would.
She's tough.
Matt gave it a 4.
I think a gentleman's 4. It was pretty good.
I like how we went in order here. It's like, which I know the listener can't see, but it's like if you go like a backwards C, you've got Jessie with the 3, Matt with the 4, and me with the 5. I gave it a 5 just because it's very nostalgic for me. Like I remember watching this, like, because when season 1 came out, you know, it was just the pilot season. You know, you didn't know when it ended if it would for sure be back or not, because it was just kind of a test run, and then
Yeah.
like where are they going to go? What's going to happen? And then I remember seeing the teaser for like season 2 and talking to my dad about it back when we still had a skating rink. I was at one of my like little.
Oh, I missed that so much.
Me too. We were talking about that at work today, how much we miss skating.
I just went skating this past weekend
Where?
at Palace Point.
Lucky.
We ought to go one day. And
Did
take
you do any
kids.
tricks?
No, I could barely skate. I'm no good.
Don't forget we're old now, so falling hurts a lot more than it used to.
And I am not trying to go to the hospital, so I took it easy.
Yeah, we'll have to do that. But no, I gave it a 5 because it's just so nostalgic. And then I remember when this episode premiered, and I can't remember what I was doing, but like I rushed home, like, oh my God, The Walking Dead's coming back, because it was still new. It still had that new show smelled to it. You
Where
know?
were you when season 2 premiered?
In my actual, so I'm pretty sure during season 2 I was living in my apartment. That Matt never got to experience my apartment.
The original air date was October 16 of 2011.
Yep. No, I moved up there in
Jeez.
December of 2011, so I know where I was then. All right, so I watched it there. And then, and then so, man, I just remember being so excited. But so I give it a 5, basically straight up off nostalgia, but I love this season, so it's hard for me to give any of these episodes bad ratings.
That's
I think season 2 is going to see a lot of 4 or 5s out of me.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. I'm probably just going to do 5 on every episode. I mean, I'm sure there's something we'll get
Season 2,
to.
I think season 2 earns a lot of the high praise on that one.
It really does. I feel like season 1 gets you introduced. Season 2 is where you really start to get invested. And then by season 3, you're just super invested. You know what I mean? Like season 3, I feel like season 3 and 4 was the highest The Walking Dead flew as far as just, you know, I mean, everybody and their mama was watching it. Like everybody was talking about it. It was just everywhere. And you just were so invested. And then for some people, after 5 and 6, it just kind of started going. But I still love it.
watch those be the ones that I like the most.
Well,
Could be.
every slow episode there was JP's favorite. Like there's an Oceanside
Really?
episode. That's all I got to say. When we get to it, you'll know.
Yeah.
It was like the most boring episode in the history of the show. Like legit, everyone in the comments hated it. Myself and the other Matt hated it. And then JP said, I thought this was one of the best episodes I've ever seen. Well, you would.
I'm excited.
Well, JP is a different breed.
Indeed he is. But hey, that's going to do it for this review and discussion of Season 2, Episode 1. We will be getting to Season 2, Episode 2 here soon. We'll get back on track because we were doing like 2 of these a week at least.
There was
So
yeah.
we'll try to get back on that,
It's like it's ball season.
I don't need to know what you're doing off the mic, Jessie. I just need you to focus on podcasting when it's time to podcast.
Hey boys, it's ball.
Hey
Everybody
boys,
just got a whole lot busier.
it's ball season.
Yeah.
But we'll see you soon. I'm Justin.
Metadubs.
I'm Jessie.
We're the Podcasting Dead. Also, don't forget to check out our Patreon, patreon.com/thepodcastingdead. And
Please.
yes, please. This equipment's expensive. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Later.